On August 9, 2024, the entire nation of Brazil was left in shock by a devastating aviation tragedy. A VuPass airline plane, an ATR 72 carrying 61 people, crashed in the town of Vinhedo, approximately 80 kilometers northwest of Sao Paulo. Tragically, all 57 passengers and 4 crew members on board perished. This ranks as one of the most severe air disasters in Brazil's history, leaving an indelible mark of sorrow on the families of the victims and the entire nation. The ill-fated Flight 2283 departed from Cascavel Airport in Paraná, bound for Sao Paulo's Guarulhos International Airport. The aircraft was an ATR-72, a twin-engine turboprop designed for short regional flights. It was manufactured in 2010 and had been acquired by VPAS in September 20. With a planned route of approximately 600 kilometers, the plane took off around 1:30 p.m. local time. However, shortly after takeoff, it encountered a critical issue and tragically crashed in the town of Vinhedo, leading to an unforeseen disaster. The events of that fateful afternoon were recounted by witnesses in shock and fear. Natalie Sakari, a local resident living near the crash site, recalled that she was having lunch when a sudden, loud noise startled her. She described the sound as similar to a drone but much louder. Rushing to her balcony, Natalie was horrified to see the plane spiraling in the sky, a clear sign that something had gone terribly wrong. She barely had time to realize that this was far from normal aircraft behavior before the plane plummeted to the ground in an instant. Ricardo Rodriguez, another witness who arrived at the scene shortly after the crash, recounted to local media the unforgettable sight he encountered. Bodies were scattered across the ground, and the wreckage was engulfed in flames. The scene was truly horrifying, and Ricardo could only stand in silence, overwhelmed by the immense loss that had just occurred. Immediately after receiving reports of the crash, rescue teams, including firefighters, military police, and Sao Paulo's civil defense forces, were deployed to the scene. With urgency and determination, they swiftly extinguished the flames and began searching for victims. Fortunately, no one on the ground was injured in the accident, but tragically, all those on board perished. Local authorities promptly transported the victims' bodies to the morgue for identification and to notify their families. In response to this tragedy, Sao Paulo Governor Tarcísio de Freitas announced the establishment of a crisis management center to coordinate rescue efforts and investigate the cause of the crash. He expressed deep sympathy to the families of the victims and pledged that all relevant agencies would work closely together to determine the cause of this devastating incident. As of now, the exact cause of the crash remains undetermined. However, aviation experts have recovered the plane's black box from the crash site and are analyzing the data to uncover what transpired. Notably, no emergency signals were detected before the accident, which adds complexity to determining the cause. According to initial reports, the weather in the area at the time of the crash was relatively stable, with only light rain and mild winds. This may be an important factor in ruling out weather-related causes. Marcelo Moreno, director of the Brazilian Center for Investigation and Prevention of Aeronautical Accidents, stated that it is still too early to draw any conclusions about the cause of the crash. However, he emphasized that the investigation will be conducted thoroughly and transparently, with the goal of uncovering the truth and preventing similar tragedies in the future. The immense loss from this tragedy has plunged the entire nation of Brazil into mourning. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva expressed profound sorrow over the catastrophe. During an event in Santa Catarina, he called on everyone to observe a minute of silence for the unfortunate victims. The solidarity and support from both the public and the government highlight the humanity that emerges during the most heartbreaking moments. This tragedy has resonated not only within Brazil, but also across the international community. Many world leaders have extended their condolences to the families of the victims and expressed solidarity with Brazil during this difficult time. Social media has been flooded with messages of support, encouragement, and sorrow, demonstrating that in the most challenging times, people know how to stand together and help one another through the pain. The crash of the ATR-72 plane operated by VPAS serves as a painful reminder of the fragility of life and the hidden dangers that can arise unexpectedly.